Welcome, Ms. Monroe and Mr. Cortez, to Ma Hila's Heart Children's Cancer Foundation. Please.
Bonita, Texas, real time, right here at this beautiful nonprofit organization. Jason, this is lovely. What do you think, Mr. Cortez?
Very impressive, very colorful.
Very beautiful. I did not expect this.
Well,
wow.
We try to make it different versus like being in the hospital. We want to have it colorful, so the feeling the parents they have is excitement and joy.
So today we are going to get to find out everything that has to do about your nonprofit and your little casita that you have here, and everything that you are offering, where you've been, where you're at, where you're going. I know that we have worked on a previous beautiful little show that we did for you, but I really wanted to bring Mr. Cortez to be a part of this because we are excited about everything that you are doing for the rest of the year. And I just want you to know that we started this new little Bonita, Texas, real time, sponsored by San Antonio Monthly and Magazine, because we definitely are covering the entire state of Texas with all the wonderful nonprofit organizations. So are you ready to give me a beautiful tour?
I am ready. I'm looking forward to it.
Are you ready, Mr. Cortez?
Yeah, I want to hear about all this because it looks wonderful.
It looks wonderful. Okay, let's start.
So we're located here on the medical center because it's easier for the families that we support. A lot of our families are going through chemo treatments, so that's one of the reasons we placed ourselves here. So the first room I'm going to show you is our painting room. So we have partnerships with the hospitals, and it's Christus Santa Rosa, Methodist Children's University Hospital, and actually Vitas Hospice, which is also Vitas Healthcare. And whenever the family are referred to us, our program manager, Misty, will get with them and we'll have a painting session for them. So it gets an opportunity for the kids to have a little bit of joy. And so during this time, she will pull one of the parents out and she'll ask them, what is the need we can fill? So initially we were started for gift giving, right? So gift giving was a temporary fix, but we then moved into what are the emergency needs? So utilities, bill pay, the non-medical drivers of help that actually help the focus of the family to be on the child's healing versus the stresses of life. Because as we all know, cancer affects so many people, but the best way we can help them is to relieve them from some of the pain and stress that they have within their own lives.
You don't only treat the patient, you're actually supporting the family, the whole family during this process.
That's correct, because it's the family that needs support. There's also an unintentional neglect that happens with the other children. Keep in mind, unintentional, right? Because they're focused on survival for that one child. So what we want to do is relieve that pressure and that stress. It's emotionally, it's mentally difficult for these families. So anything we could do to ease that pain, that's where we exist. And so here in the painting session, that's just a little bit of fun, but the goal is to get that parent, and so we could care for them on those emergency needs. And also we have donations of toys that we have that we'll give a child. And it's not just the patient, we'll give the entire family something from that. So they still leave with a little bit of a gift from a donation we received, and then they get to leave with those resources filled.
That's why I love that you are always very active with everything that has to do with putting gatherings together and events together so that people can come here and give you guys donations. Just about anything that people can give is always good, because everybody, when they walk out of your facility, they walk away with a gift. Isn't that lovely?
It is lovely. It is lovely. And actually, you helped us during our Noche de Arte. And that was a wonderful opportunity because it actually brought exposure to both organizations, and you brought guests to our event to also donate to the families that we serve. And so that's important, is to stay active and bring awareness to them, because a lot of the funding that happens only in direct fundraising, because we do not hit the pillar of other organizations within the community. So, you know, the hope is to build a community. I want the families to feel that, hey, I'm not alone, because a lot of the fathers that I sit with will tell me, I feel like we're alone, like there's no other support here. But we have to be able to tell them it's okay. It's okay to not be okay, right? It's okay for us to come in and help you with that need you have. Even if it's emotional fill or it's a mental help that you need, this is where we're gonna kind of come in place and say, hey, we got you. We got you. And that's what I want to bring to the community. I don't want to just serve once. We want to make sure that there's ongoing service for the families.
For this really helps me understand your drive and your purpose. So I appreciate it. So let's go to the next room.
Absolutely. So this is our parent support gathering room. Mm-hmm. So we're one of the only organizations, there are several that have a parent support group for losing a child, but ours is specifically for losing a child to cancer. So a lot of families, there are organizations that are out there that are absolutely wonderful, but there's a waiting list of up to 2 months on some of them. So when you lose a child, I can't imagine the feeling. I have sat in these groups, but to have a resource where they could say, I need some help now is extremely important because they're still existing with other family members. So they need to feel supported. So in thinking about other organizations, what you look at is, how do I relate to another family, right? So although it's tragic, there's in other organizations, somebody loses a child to a car accident or to suicide. Absolutely tragic, horrible things that happen. But you can't relate to someone that has a diagnosis with a child with cancer. Why is that? Because these families are already grieving because they don't know when or if the child's going to survive that. Young adult or adolescent. That's the hard thing to deal with. So we decided we're 2.5 years strong, almost 3 years. We put a group together of families that have lost a child to cancer. And so 2 of our facilitators, April Moxley, she's a board member, and Martha Sines, she's also a board member, Dr. Martha Sines. Dr. Martha Sines had lost her son to cancer. And so she understands, and she was in our programming on Heaven's Way. And April Moxley is a bereavement manager at Vitas. So she actually deals with a lot of the families. So they facilitate the classes for us with other parents that are like-minded to help them go through that grieving process and moving forward.
And I can relate to that because I just want you to know, Jason, that for many, many years, when I left my home at 16 and I ended up at a shelter home, I relate to a lot. But as I grew up, I want you to know that I have been a voice of comfort and a voice of faith to help thousands and thousands of families going through the process. Not only, through the process when they lost their loved one, but through the process of the pain while they're trying to see if their loved ones will survive. And I could relate 100% to that. That's why your nonprofit to me is a very, very special one, because it's definitely an educating system that you guys have here, and a comfort, for all the parents that sometimes they just do not know what to do. They get to that point where they see their children suffer and they don't know how to handle it. And this is the perfect place where you guys literally do the one step after another step. And I really do believe that that's where your nonprofit makes a statement along other thousands of nonprofits out there, is that you guys have really literally have done your job to know how to handle that in a professional way where everybody gets that support.
And it's important because, very much like you, everybody's got a story. So every family needs to be able to voice those stories in a place that's comforting, that's safe. You walk in here, you really don't want to walk away. It feels almost like a spa in a sense, right? You have the aromatherapy going, you have the colorful rooms, you have the comfort of being able to sit almost in a living room setting, but also have the ability to say, I can speak my mind and speak my emotions without being judged. Because it's important. It's important to have that openness with these families so they don't feel alone. That's one of the things I said earlier. A lot of our families feel they're alone. They don't have enough support in our community.
And that's the biggest problem that we have right now, because that's where they go into the depression mode,
right?
Where they fall into the addiction of drugs, the painkillers. So that's where it just gets a little bit more complicated, and that's where you guys come in. So it is very important for the world to know that you guys are definitely prepared to know how to confront this situation.
And I'm going to add a little bit to that. Statistically, families that are battling this, or going through this journey, and they lose a child to cancer, end up in divorce. Mm-hmm. And so we're family oriented. We don't want that to happen, but because it's hard to express yourself, it's hard to cope with it. And grief doesn't have a schedule. It comes and goes as it pleases. So what we don't do is we don't tell the family, okay, you've been here for this much of time, you need to go. We let them stay for as long as they need. That way they have the support, unlimited support, for as long as they possibly can. So that's important for us too, is to give them that freedom and ability to do that.
I love this. This is very inviting. It is very, very nice.
I was in the fire department for 30 plus years here in San Antonio, and a paramedic, and seeing these having to deal with parents losing their children. I mean, that was always tough, and to know that there's a resource here for them is really valuable.
My son is epileptic, and so there was a time as a toddler where we actually did lose him. In that moment, before the paramedics brought him back, I will never let go, and I hold on to that. And I think of the parents that are fighting every single day, and that moment's just sitting there with them. They need support, they need care, and they need hope and love with them. And the goal is to have us bring that to them.
You know, Mr. Jason, when I first met you, I knew that you truly were very, very passionate about this beautiful nonprofit. And now you just finished answering my curiosity of my question. Why is it this gentleman is so passionate? Now I see, because your baby, you know, is a baby that you have to know and understand on a daily basis, because every day is a different day.
It is.
You just never know how that's going to react, or, you know, you just do not know. It's just like you are the kind of gentleman that is looking forward for a hope every day. But you have the faith, which is beautiful, and that's what makes you so, so important. And this is a very impressive hallway. Tell me a little bit about this.
So we call this the Hall of Hearts. The Hall of Hearts is the hearts that are painted not just by the families, but by the children and by other community members here. And what you see is the artwork. The artwork is an expression of how they feel. And it's surprising because every day, even though I'm in this office every day, I feel like I see something different, you know, and it hits me every time, and I can't believe, you know, how beautiful some of this work is. And that's what's important, is not to just reflect on the families, but when you come in here to remember our mission and why we do what we do. And if you see some of these, you see the handprints of children on some of the paintings, and some of these children are no longer with us. So it lasts a little more. It gives you a little more of the feeling of why it's important to support these families. I'm looking down here, and there's a little girl by the name of Lorena. It's down here painting, and this is all just happening right now as we're speaking, and it tells you the beautiful moments that happen as you walk through this hall.
So this hallway is the hallway of angels, you know, and that's the way I felt, you know, when I came here to the ladies' room. When I walked into this room, I felt surrounded by love. It was very, very cozy and very inviting, but I felt a lot of peace. And that's one thing that I do feel in this office, is the peace of love, you know?
This is called our Heaven's Way wall. So when we first got our 501c3, one of the first children that had passed was this little girl here. Her name is Heaven. So in honor of her...
Beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at that.
We named the program after her.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Look at that. Heaven. Oh, my gosh.
Now, the other hearts on the wall, have they passed as well? Or
they are. So Jayla, her mom comes to our parent support group. She has passed. Nick is actually Dr. Martha's son, and he has passed. Jasmine down here, Jasmine Sanchez, she had conquered cancer, and then it came back and it took her. And so her little brother, we just rang his bell recently. He conquered cancer about a month ago. And so this is how important it is to be there for these families, because tragedy struck twice on this family. And most recent that we have on the wall is little 4-year-old Jace. And we had just had him painting. He hand painted this with his fingers and stuff. And he's no longer with us. You know, so it's hard. And for some reason, I'm feeling it today, but I truly believe that things happen for a reason. My cousin, he has a set of twins. I have twin girls that are 2.5 years old. He's got twin girls. And we get a call from Christus, Santa Rosa Children's, and Ariana, one of the twins, has leukemia. And so that's in my family. And I'm in this role for a reason. You know, the hope is that not to just bring my family comfort, but everybody else in our community. It's important for that.
It is so important now. You know what, Mr. Jason, I know that when you and I met, all right, we bonded right away because we had something in common. It was something special. You know, when I did your interview a few months ago last year, I want to say it was just an amazing interview. And that's when I knew I was going to get to see you again. And I knew that you were definitely dedicated to your mission, and that's why I am here today to say I'm so proud of you, because I could feel your pain, but I could also feel the joy thanks to the support of everyone that's here supporting you, your mission, and everything that you're doing. So this wall tells us a lot, because this wall really speaks, for what really, the beauty of your nonprofit is doing, where you are definitely making a difference, because you are leaving it right here with the trademark. And all these beautiful hearts are beautiful because they are very special. All the families that have been supporting you, that just shows the love of the beautiful San Antonio supporting this wonderful nonprofit organization. Well, I definitely would like to extend on behalf of our beautiful museum, Massiatte San Antonio. I would like to definitely extend an invitation to make arrangements to make sure that all of the beautiful little kids that you guys have here and the families, I would like to have them have a fun day at Massiatte San Antonio, because we do have a lot in common in different ways. But my husband, Mr. David Monroe, and myself, we are all about the children. We are all about helping the families in need. And also, we are all about supporting many, many nonprofits, organizations through our nonprofit. And we are so grateful to Techport San Antonio, that has always been believing in everything we do and supporting, our nonprofit. So yes, I'm right here as Lorena Monroe, asking everyone to please take another look at what this beautiful nonprofit is doing for San Antonio, because we are all about the love for our upcoming children. Because like my husband David Monroe says, the children are our destination for tomorrow. This has been a beautiful day. It is a day never to forget. I want you to tell me a little bit about the upcoming events that you have, Jason.
Sure. So we're having, it's called Prayers For Cassie. And what it is there was a piano teacher by the name of Josh Cavazos, and his student ended up getting cancer. He also had a grandmother who had passed away from cancer. So out of inspiration for that story, he composed a piece of music. And so what we have is Cassie's going to tell her story. And there's actually a documentary that was released in March of this year to talk about surviving and survivor's guilt. And so what a lot of our families feel is something like this. Some of the kids, whenever they're at the hospital and they see somebody pass, there's this guilt, even though they've survived, that they carry on with them. And that was real for me to see that documentary. So that's going to be done. And there's also going to be Teresa Nino. She's going to be there, a cancer survivor also. She's with Our Lady of the Lake. And we're going to have Ernie Zuniga, who's going to be the MC. And the goal is to be able to bring awareness to our event, because it's during Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month, which is the month of gold. That is our ribbon. So it's important to do that. We are going to have silent auction items. We have George Strait guitar. And so I think that's probably the biggest one to get there. But it's to get people motivated to donate.
Yes.
And very much like galas, like the tickets aren't that expensive as a gala. So your gala seat might cost you $450. This is about $150 per ticket, which is affordable. So you can come in there. But each ticket that's bought goes back to the family programs. Each item in silent auction will go back to the family programs and the families that we serve. So it's important to do that and have sponsorship opportunities available also to go into direct family programming. And it actually shows you the impact that you have in the families.
And Jason, that's why I literally wanted to come here, because there is so many nonprofit organizations out there, but I really do believe that the way, that we could all be successful is by being right here in your office and literally do what we did today, do the walkthrough, so that people understand who you are, where you're standing at, and what your mission is. So thank you so much for inviting Bonita Natural, because the last event that we had was very successful. It was at the Jewel last year, and yeah, people loved it. And a percentage of all of the clutches that we sold went into the nonprofit. So we're doing the same thing with this beautiful event that you have at the Tobin Center, which is on September 27th, correct?
September 27th from 4 to 7 p.m.
4 to 7, and it is going to be at the Tobin Center. Tickets are $150, and the information is going to be right here for everyone to be able to reach out, and all of that is going to this mission for cancer survivors, correct?
That's correct.
Yes, and I also understand that you are having another event before Christmas at the Jewel again, and we definitely would like to engage everyone because now you are on a totally different drive. Because from what I see is you really have done your due diligence and connecting with other networks and nonprofit organizations to really get the voice out there. And I got to tell you, I'm so proud because you've come a long ways. And this is definitely a beautiful way to engage more families, to let them know that they're not alone, that we are here to support them. So I definitely want to invite everyone to be a part of your nonprofit.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the one that's coming up before Christmas is called Weeks of Giving. And what we do is we adopt 10 families from every hospital, and we look for donations to be able to gift for each one of the families. And anybody that sponsors goes directly into the programming. So just to kind of give you a little more, recently we won the Changemaker Award as a nonprofit for the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Small Business Awards.
Just take a moment to thank you from the bottom of my heart for always including Bonita Natural, Bonita Productions, Lorena, Monroe, because you know exactly where I stand, Jason. You know, you and I have a very special bonding, and I really, really love you, your wife, your family, all of the people that are supporting your nonprofits. Thank you so much to everyone that's supporting this beautiful nonprofit, and I will definitely be there to support you at the Tobin Center. I definitely will be there to support you at the Jewel with the upcoming other function that we're having, and a percentage of everything that goes through Bonita Natural, it's going to go to this nonprofit. So I cordially invite everyone to please engage. And for all my beautiful fans, my friends out there around the world, here is the information where you could actually come into this website and donate, because it's going for a good cause. And I want to thank San Antonio Monthly Magazine. Thank you so much for always allowing Lorena Monroe to bring the best of what happens right here in our beautiful community. And thank you for inviting me and Mr. Cortez. I wanted to have you see a little bit of my world through Bonita, Texas Real Time, sponsored by San Antonio Monthly Magazine TV.
Well, thank you for your heart coming to us and actually answering the phone and say, I will be there to help. That makes a big difference. You know, thank you to Bonita Productions. Thank you, Lorena Monroe. You know, Mr. Cortez, for coming out today. It's a blessing to have you here to learn more about us, but again, to partner up, because it was a success. You know, the clutches sold really quickly. The beautiful models that were coming around, it got people motivated to give. So I'm looking forward for what we're going to do today and the impact we're going to have in our community. So thank you.
Hasta la vista.